Make sure you check down in the description below to find out how to purchase a SmallTown Collectibles comic book mystery box and how to get a discount code over at Street Level Hero LA, where you get 10% off your order and raise some money for a great cause. It is a beautiful fall day here in the hills of Eastern Kentucky, and today we're going to talk about the first appearances and key issues for the greatest day of the week, New Comic Book Day, October 20th, 2021. So let's get started. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr, and this is the SmallTown Collectibles YouTube channel. So before I get into talking about all the cool covers, the first appearances, the key issues this week on New Comic Book Day, if you haven't already, hit that subscription button, turn on that notification bell so that you get notified when I put out new content. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up and leave a comment below and let me know what books you're looking at this week. If there's any books I'm missing from my list, as I say every week, I want this video to be a conversation between myself and the community about the new books coming out on New Comic Book Day. All right, with all that out of the way, let's jump into our first category, and that's the covers. So I do have a few covers this week, and the first one is from DC, and that is Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 4, the Cover B variant by In-Yuk Lee. Love this cover. Of course, I'm a Superman homer, but I really do dig this cover. You've got Jonathan Kent essentially on fire with a pissed off look on his face. And yeah, I really dig that one, and that's a must-have for my collection. And then we jump over to Dynamite for, a book that I'm probably not going to read, but when I saw this cover, it just really stood out to me. It made me feel uncomfortable and all warm inside at the same time. And it's by Perillo, and I am a big Perillo homer. And that is Sonya Versal number 8. Now they do have this book on Midtown for $45. I don't know that I'm going to pay $45 for it, but it's just one of those covers. When I saw it, I was like, man, and yeah, I just really dug it. So it may be something that you want to check out. Our next cover up on the list is from Titan Comics, and that's Gun Hunting number 2, the 1 in 10 variant by Kendrick Lim. Now, when you first see this, it's kind of the obvious, right? It's a very, very sexy cover. But I just really dig the colors. I dig the cat. The orange color, the cat kind of stands out. She's got the gun on her hip. I mean, the whole thing. And I read the first one. I loved it. And I guess that could be why this one stood out to me. I mean, it's a really beautiful cover in my opinion. Then we have Ice Cream Man number 26, the action figure variant. And this cover is by Rob Seesky, and this is limited to 400 copies. Now, I did find a couple of these online for sale, mainly overseas for like $34.95. So if this is something you dig, you can maybe find it. But yeah, I like the action figure covers myself. I don't really know why. I just like them. I am into toys. But yeah, this one just really stood out to me, and the background's kind of eerie. Him sitting there eating an ice cream cone with eyeballs and whatever in it. I don't know. I'm a big fan of the Ice Cream Man series, and this action figure variant, yeah, it really did it for me. And then wrapping up the covers list for this week is Nubia and the Amazons number 1, the 1 in 25 variant cover by Joshua Sway. Another just beautiful cover, and the thing that really stood out to me about this one is the face. The face, it's just such a good drawing. I don't know, it's just, this is a beautiful cover. This is a title that I'm excited to check out. And yeah, this 1 in 25 variant by Sway, yeah, it's a nice book. So if that's something that interests you, go check that out. And that was the last cover, so let's jump over into the second printing. So I only had one second print this week, or the only one that I could find, and that was Gun Hunting number 1, the second print. This is limited to 2,000 copies. Gun Hunting, like I said earlier when I was talking about the covers, I read the first issue, I really dug it. I love the name, I love the whole concept behind the book. So if you're into second prints and you enjoyed this title, this is one that you can grab this week. And that was it. That was the only second print that I could find. So let's jump on over into our key issues. I always like to start this section of the video. A few books that are coming out that I'm not spotlighting. Eat the Rich number 3. It's a story I've really been enjoying. Maul number 2 is out this week. I really enjoyed the first issue of that. X-Men Trial of Magneto #3 is a Marvel. I'm a DC guy, but that's a Marvel title that I'm really enjoying. And then the Tom Taylor run on Nightwing. Nightwing #85 is out this week. I've still been enjoying that run. Tom Taylor's doing a lot over on DC right now, and I'm really enjoying a lot of his reads. All right, so now let's jump into the actual key issues that we're going to spotlight. And the first one, we kind of always start with DC. That's Batman Secret Files Peacekeeper-01 #1. And this is where you get the origin story of Peacekeeper 01. Then we've got Catwoman #36, which is a reunion of the Gotham City Sirens, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, and Catwoman with White Witch. Reunited and it feels so good. I'll stop now. But that's immediately when I read that, that's what came to my mind. So I thought I would share it with you. And then wrapping up the list of key issues with DC is Refrigerator Full of Heads #1. This is from Hill House Comics, and the synopsis on this one is off the coast of Rhode Island, the mysterious axe that unleashed pandemonium during the hurricane of '83 has waited at the bottom of the bay, but nothing powerful stays buried. So I have enjoyed the Hill House comics that have come out on the DC Black Label. I'm definitely going to grab Refrigerator Full of Heads #1 and check that out. And then I've heard that a lot of these titles are going to be released on HBO. So if that's the case and they're working with DC, this could be a nice spec book to grab as well. So that wraps up the DC. Let's jump on over to Marvel. And I only have one Marvel on the key issue book this week. Most of the Marvel books that are coming out this week have first appearances in them. So you're going to hear about those in just a little bit in the first appearance list. But the one book I do have is Thor #18. Throg sets out on a mission in the service of Thor. So this could be a fun issue. I'm still reading this Kate's run of Thor. I'm still enjoying it. And I thought I would list this one because, Throg, we heard about Throg when Loki came out. I think that's when I'd really kind of first heard about him. And now he's in this book and on a mission for Thor. So I think it'll be a fun read. So that's all the Marvel books. Let's jump on over into our indies. And the first book is from Black Flag, and that is White #5, limited to 2,500 copies. I've said it on here before. I stopped reading White. If you're still reading it, let me know in the comments if you're enjoying it. I just didn't like the book. I didn't like the way it read. I didn't really like the story, the whole thing. So I just dropped it after I read issue 3. I read up to that, and then I dropped it. And from Boom, this is not like an actual comic book, but you do have Something Is Killing the Children Deluxe Edition #1 coming out this week. This is the slipcase edition, and it's a 384-page hardcover collection of issues 1 through 15, the Archer's Peak Saga. So that was the initial run of Something Is Killing the Children, the one that really kind of drew everybody in. And as I said, probably one of the best reads of 2020. I've absolutely loved that story. If you're into the collected editions, then you've got the deluxe edition for Something Is Killing the Children coming out this week. Then we jump over to Dark Horse, and we've got the Critical Role Tales of Exandria, the Bright Queen #1. Layla's Kryn, the Bright Queen of the Kryn dynasty, has spent multiple lives in pursuit of assembling the Luxon. With her eternal lover Quana at her side, she will stop at nothing to use its otherworldly power to bring a golden age to the peoples under her rule. So when what might be the final piece of the Luxon appears nearby, Layla sends Quana to collect it with consequences that may threaten the entire dynasty. I like stories like that, and I don't know that this is one that has like spec value or anything. I just think it could be a cool story. So Critical Role Tales of Exandria, the Bright Queen #1 from Dark Horse this week. Then also from Dark Horse, we've got Orville Artifacts #1. And I don't know if you read Orville or not, but I've enjoyed that title. It's just, again, kind of a mindless, fun read. I really dig it. And this is a 2-issue limited series that takes the Orville into a dangerous territory to pursue the lost fleet of Zancon, a race whose system-spanning empire rose and fell millions of years ago, according to legend. So if you're into that, Orville Artifacts #1 out this week. Then we move over to Dynamite, where we have Purgatory #1, Purgatory versus a coven of body-snatching witches. I've never read any Purgatory, but it was a #1, so I thought I would throw it out here for you if that's something you're into. Then from Image, we've got Gunslinger Spawn #1, and this is the premiere issue of the second Spawn universe title featuring the Gunslinger. And then wrapping up the list from Image and wrapping up our indie books this week is Nita Hall's Nightmare Blog #1, and this is a spin-off horror series set in the world of Philadelphia. And Philadelphia has been a really good read. Really enjoyed that one. I still read it today. And so this is a spin-off of that book, Nita Hall's Nightmare Blog #1. All right, so that wraps up all the key issues this week. Let's jump into the first appearances, and there are several. It seemed like it was a lighter week, in the actual key issues for the indies and Marvel and DC from that standpoint, but there are several first appearances this week. The first one is Black Manta #2, and you get the first appearance of Devil Ray. Then we have Catwoman Lonely City #1. This is a 4-issue limited series in the Prestige Plus format. If you don't know what that is, that's the bigger book, kind of like the Harley Quinn book that came out. There's been several in that format. You get the first mention of Ophrys. You get the first team appearance of the Bat Cops. And the synopsis on this one is a decade after the massacre known as Fool's Nights that took the lives of Batman, Joker, Nightwing, and Commissioner Gordon, Selena Kyle investigates the secrets of the Batcave to discover the identities of Orpheus. So that could be a fun read. Most of those books have been pretty good under that title. Then you've got Green Lantern #7, the first appearance of the Lightbringer. And one of the books that I think will be one of the keys of the week is Nubia and the Amazons #1, where you get the first appearance of the new Amazons and the first appearance of Andromeda. So I think that's going to be a definite pickup for me. Then we've got Suicide Squad King Shark #2, and you get the first full appearance of Queen Tiger. Then The Death of Doctor Strange #2, where we get the first team appearance of the Three Mothers. Then Phoenix Song Echo #1, the first appearance of River, an ally of Echo. Then we've got Star Wars The High Republic #10. And I couldn't confirm if this was going to be a true first appearance, so I'm going to list it as a possible first appearance of Lorna D. And then wrapping up the first appearance list, we've got the United States of Captain America #5, where we get the first appearance of Captain America Jeremy Merrick, an active duty Air Force soldier inspired by an individual writer met 20 years ago while working as a production assistant on a documentary. So yeah, that could be a cool book. There's some other nice covers, and actually the cover A on that book's pretty cool as well. So guys, that is it for me today. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time and coming over and hanging out with me here on the channel. I really do appreciate it. We've eclipsed that initial goal of 1,000 subs, and now we're working towards 2,000. We appreciate all your support that you give us. We truly do. Make sure you comment below. Let me know what you think about the list, any books that you're checking out that I need to be reading. If you haven't subbed up already, sub up to the channel, turn on the notification bell, all those things I'm supposed to tell you to do. Hope you have the greatest new comic book day ever. I know I'm going to have a good one, as always in these things. Until next time.